it should come as no surprise which camera I decided to keep in my list of cameras I was testing. I'm just going to have to be real careful about not covering the microphone on this one, but it sounded way better. It looked way better. There was no shaking. I get this camera is about image stabilization, and that's kind of its whole deal, but the other one didn't even have basic stabilization, so I was really not happy with that. This camera I got on sale for $200. It's normally $350, and it's really good. And the other camera was $1,000, and I mean, you have to hold it perfectly still or you can't take a video. So yeah, decently impressed with this camera. I am driving to go trade in. As you might have expected on that one, I've decided to trade the Model X for the Rivian R1S. I did speak with my guide, and he said, you know, the one that I was looking at is a 2024, so that's kind of an important thing for me. And then, more importantly, they did offer, within reason, what I was looking to get for this car. I wish it were more, but when you factor in the tax savings of, you know, a trade-in, it was worth it in the end. It was not the highest offer I've received, but the highest offer was only $2,000 more, and it really wasn't worth going through the trouble of, you know, taking the car to the other person to trade it, and then waiting for them to cut the check in a couple of days, and then waiting for my bank to process the check in a couple of days. This way, I sign the car over, I drive a new one home the same day, no big deal. I don't know, I try to justify a lot about what I do, and I do want to share my opinions and thoughts as to why I chose the way I chose. But the same with everything with me. There's no one big reason that made me do what I did. There are a lot of several small reasons that I chose as reasons enough to not have this car anymore. There's a lot of little rattles and creaks and noises that the car has. Tesla did not want to fix any of those for me. The front shutter is a thing with this car. It's kind of annoying. It's not like, you know, only under heavy acceleration like the other Teslas did. It kind of does it all the time, but this one's not like a noticeable like shutter. This is an always noise. Under any amount of acceleration, there's always some sort of noise from the front end out of this car. It's the shutter. I mean, that's got to be what it is. It's what it always has been. Another huge factor with this car is the fact that I could buy two Model 3 standard range or rear wheel drives for the price of this one. Not only money wise, but also insurance wise. It was nearly double the cost of my other cars to insure this car. Now Rivian's not the cheapest in the world, and it is a little more expensive as well. So we're going to be looking at about a $300 every 6 months savings by going from this into the Rivian. It's a savings nonetheless. It could have been more, but nonetheless it is a savings. Autopilot has been ruined. And maybe I can spin this camera around if I can figure out how. I am using autopilot now, and I'm not touching the wheel. I'm not looking at the road. I'm holding a camera, and the reason that is because of that camera cover. The camera cover makes it enjoyable and usable. So, yeah. But without that, autopilot has been a complete pain in the neck, and eventually they're going to make it so you can't cover those cameras, and then it's going to be a complete pain in the neck. I get that's not entirely Tesla's fault, but it is Tesla's problem to deal with. And you know, you're going to have a ton of owners who are not going to be happy with how this is turning out, because none of this stuff works anymore. When I think back to my Rivian, I think, you know, how happy I was with it. There were a few times where I had considered trading it for something else, and in every single case, I always changed my mind. I always went back on that because I was like, you know, I don't need to trade the car. I like the car. Very few actual problems with the car. And yes, it is annoying to have to drive it all the way to Atlanta anytime something goes wrong. But granted, I only had to drive it twice, and one of those was cosmetic. It wasn't even, you know, like, it didn't need to go. It was just me wanting it fixed. So, could have dealt with it for a little while and then had it handled in the second appointment and not had to worry about it. So, anyway, I'm gonna cut this off here because, you know, too much rambling. So I will see you guys as soon as we pick up the R1S. Nearly 8 hours later, here we are in the Rivian. I did end up getting it. I don't remember what I said 8 hours ago, so I'm just gonna go ahead and talk about it again if I already talked about it. I asked them to reevaluate my Model X because last night, during the middle of the night, Tesla raised the price of the Model X, making it worth about $6,000 more than it was originally worth. Rivian would not reevaluate it. They said that the price they offered was still the price they offered. They weren't going to go up or down any. I kind of wished I would have got more, but at the same time, I mean, whatever. You know, I bought the car back 2 price increases ago, so I ended up getting it for just under $95, tax included. Today, it would be like $106 plus tax for the same car. It probably should have been worth more than they gave me, but you know, it was either take the easy way or prolong this entire process by another week. I got a lot going on next week. It's going to be a busy week, so I decided that it wasn't really worth it to do that. I'm trying to get an appointment Monday to get the windows tinted on this car, and I just can't seem to get that going. They want to offer every time except for what time I need, and it's like, you guys, it's the winter. You're not busy. We know you're not busy. You know, I could always be squeezed in somewhere, but they want to do it at 10 a.m. Like, I'm not driving there. I'd have to get up.
Kyle Valdez.
God. Well, long story short, I got home at 5%, and the truck is currently charging. Oh, I have to move the camera way down again. Truck is currently charging. Looks like it's at 19% now. So, I was setting up my gear guard and whatever. I'm gonna have to see, can I reposition here? No, it's way too high. I guess it's dark, so I don't really know where to look. Well, anyway, there we go. I got some light. I have the old plate to the Model X that I have to turn in eventually. I found my lottery ticket, by the way. But yeah, just getting all my stuff put in it, ready to go for whenever I want it to go somewhere. Go over here to the light so you can. I haven't actually opened the rear yet. That'd probably be something I should do. Not crazy on the design where it splits, but you know, whatever. It'll work. Apparently this isn't heavy duty enough to handle me, so I can't sit on that. Do have some, looks like maybe a first aid kit and the air tank stuff. I always wondered, yeah, you can close that off. It looked like you could close it off in the videos, but I wasn't sure. And then here's your regular outlets up here. Hopefully you can see anything, because I can't see anything on this camera. I don't know if that closed or not. Nope. Cool. Got a button. Oh, it's just the same button? Yep. Cool. You can definitely see more on this side because of the light. So yeah, pretty cool. Just to recap the video, in my last video I said if they offered $77,400 for my Tesla, that it would be basically breaking even because you know, the offer that I had gotten was in the 80 range. So and when you factor in the tax savings, it would have been breaking even basically. They actually offered $77,800, which was more than I had expected as far as, you know, trying to break even. So I did get one other offer for like $82,000. Yeah, I could have potentially profited $82,000 or $2,000, but like I said in the first clip, the headache to go through to get it done wasn't really worth it to me. So anyway, I ended up having to pay a slight difference. I think the tax all in all was like $100 and some, so not much at all. But I got it home. I do want to note that I charged my Model X to, I think it was 97 or 98% this morning. And I drove it all the way there, and I arrived with like 12% or so. So, you know, not a lot, but I got there. I used to make this trip all the time in my R1T, and I could charge to 100% and get home with like 15, no problem. In the R1S today, they charged it to 97, and I got home with 5. So I don't know if it's just because it's winter, maybe it was colder outside, I don't know. But yeah, whatever. More videos to come on the R1S.